First, before I even get into this BS that you see on your screen, I have to give a shout out to one of my followers on Twitter, Tweet God Right, for sending me this. I didn't know whether or not I was going to talk about it or not, and especially since they sent me this about 2 days ago, so I'm about 2 days behind on it. Forgive me. But this right here is a joke, and I know exactly what they're doing. So this is exactly why I can't mess with the black church. This and a host, and I mean a gang, or should I say in the words of Kendra D, a gaggle of other reasons as to why I cannot mess with that entity right there. I can imagine what this event is going to look like. It's probably going to have, a bunch of old people, AARP card carrying members, probably dressed up like it's Easter Sunday, out there tap dancing while tapping the side of that hip that just got replaced with that tambourine. You're going to have the choir up there singing. You're probably going to try to have a bunch of kids out there to look good on the camera so you can try to pull more youth in. It's going to be one big jester circus on the scale of Barnum and Bailey mixed with the Universe Soul and a whole lot of other things that I can't think of at the moment. So you're looking at a flyer right now where it says the Black Church PAC presents the inaugural Black Church Presidential Candidate Conversation Series. And below that is you have all the candidates except for two, I believe, Democratic candidates. You have Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Julian Castro, and Pete Buttigieg. The only people that's missing is Kamala Harris and Jim Crow Joe Biden. Listen, we know exactly what they're trying to do, but I'm going to need black folks, ADOS, to really get it together. They are just blowing smoke up your ass. Anybody with a functioning brain can see that. And look at this flyer. This flyer looks like it has been designed for a club. Y'all remember them club flyers y'all used to see back in the day? This is exactly what it looks like. But let me scroll down right quick. Look at this. This looks, it looks like like a club flyer, like someone who's like a low level artist getting ready to come and perform. Like they are going all out for this. I don't know if they even did this when Obama was running in his first term. At least I don't remember it or seeing anything like this. I don't like, let me scroll back up to this. And let me go ahead and read this article that was posted on August 13th, 2019. 5 Democratic presidential hopefuls, should be presidential hopefuls because they literally are hoeing themselves out to try to get a vote out of us, will converge on Atlanta later this week for a forum with African American church leaders and thousands of black millennials. My goodness, that's my generation. Well, I will not be one of the thousands. One, because I don't live in Atlanta or near Atlanta. And two, and if I did, I wouldn't be wasting my time going to that. I would probably have better time tying my damn shoes while they're not on my feet all day than having to do that and have to go witness something like this. U.S. Senator Cory Booker, South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg, and former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro are slated to speak at the Young Leaders Conference on Friday afternoon at the Georgia International Convention Center. Now, you know what's so funny? These are the same people that said that they do not want reparations for ADOS, but whose vote are they trying to get? The same people whose face they keep slapping on both sides of their face, might I add. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders will be interviewed on stage a day later, beginning at 11:30 a.m., according to the Black Church PAC, which is co-hosting the event. The conference is expected to draw 5,000 African American millennials and will be live streamed on social media. Black Church PAC said two of its co-founders, Reverend Leah Daughtry of Washington, D.C., and Pastor Michael McBride of Berkeley, California, will seek to gauge the candidates' plans for engaging and communicating with black churchgoers, ensuring diversity among campaign staff, consultants, and vendors in the campaign's efforts to engage black voters around gun violence, mass incarceration, immigration, and other key issues. How much you want to bet one of them issues is not going to be about them tangibles? I would be pleasantly surprised if that was the case, but I highly doubt that it will be. Let me see. I clicked on the next part where it says there is more different addition. Okay, here it is. Black Church PAC is made up of historically African-American church denominations and seeks to elect progressive leaders committed in ridding us of mass incarceration, voter suppression, and gun violence, according to its Twitter page. It endorsed Democrat Stacey Abrams ahead of last year's gubernatorial race. Mark Moore Jr., the Atlanta-based pastor who was hosting the conference, said having 5 presidential candidates in attendance demonstrates the inherent power and potential of our black church millennials and a unique appeal of our gathering. This just sounds like it's going to be one big step and fetch it fest. Just reading this just makes me cringe. This is Warren's second visit to Georgia since launching her presidential campaign. Ditto for Sanders, who stopped by Augusta in May. Buttigieg and Booker have each campaigned in Georgia twice before, according to the AJC's presidential candidate visit tracker, and this is Cashapp's first official trip to the Peach State since announcing his 2020 bid. The state has received attention for Democratic presidential hopefuls in ways it hasn't seen in decades, ever since Abrams' near miss in last year's gubernatorial contest. Listen, if any of my subscribers are in Georgia, and I think I have plenty, my subscriber base is pretty global at this point. I don't have to tell you not to entertain this. I already know that you're not going to entertain this, but just in case you have some family members that may, or some friends that you know, I don't know. It's like, do I tell you to convince them not to go? Because it's like, this is pointless. And it says millennials. So that means anybody who was born in the early 80s to about 1995 or 96. I forget. I think it's one of those 2 years. Basically anybody who is knocking on 40's door and is just barely into their 20s. So this is going to be one big, like I said, step and fetch it fest, but it's also going to be a pandering parade. I can see it right now. The flyer alone lets me know that what they're trying to do here. And of course they will go to Georgia because, or Atlanta anyway, because Atlanta is very heavily black populated. And it's below the Bible Belt. So you already know that it's going to be a lot of people that's going to show up to that. I already know. But I know what they're doing. They're just, like I said, they're pandering. All you got to do is ask them about reparations and then let it all unravel or not unravel about what they're not going to do. Or they're going to dance around it. And speaking of reparations, you know who else is missing from this? Marianne Williamson. While she has set the bar low as far as, well, not set the bar low, but kept it low for what we would receive as reparations because it is too low. She is the only candidate that speaks about it without having to have it forced out of her. Unlike the other ones, like the ones that's going to be here, for example, that had to have it forced out of them, and they flip-flop too much. Like they go from that, then they end up talking about the immigrants and all types of stuff right here. Now they mention stuff about mass incarceration and voter suppression and all that. That's all well and good, and that definitely should be discussed, especially that mass incarceration part, because that definitely heavily affects us. But they need to have someone there bring up something about those tangibles, because they are literally skating on thin ice right now. As a matter of fact, for many of us, the ice has already cracked and it's literally breaking apart. That's how many of us are. That's where many of us, as I should say, are sitting at with this situation right now as it concerns them. And the thing is, we don't have to go out there and vote for 45 to become 45 part 2, because they are literally let it be known that they're not speaking to our interests or anything like that. And we said that we are putting our foot down. 44 was our wake up call. Barack Obama was our wake up call, believe it or not. Many people don't see it, but I now more than ever see it. He was our wake up call. And now we are literally withholding our vote to prove that we mean business once and for all. No more of this blind voting stuff. No more of these empty promises. None of that. You have to work and earn our vote. And then you got some people that get upset about that. Like the people that's probably going to be here, they will get upset at you when you say stuff like that. And then they say, well, if you don't vote for them, then that's going to be a vote for 45. Listen, do you know what the electoral college is? That supersedes the popular vote. Look at what happened 3 years ago with Hillary. She had the popular vote and still lost. And what's so crazy is you had them people out there still blaming us like it was our fault. I'm like, do y'all not look at exit poll numbers? They don't lie. Majority of the people who voted for 45 were white men, with white women being a close second. And that was probably a record for them, because I don't think white women have ever voted that high for anybody in an election for a single candidate. They usually were split. So what does that tell you? You're not competing with us to try to get their vote. You're competing with that white power structure, aka palm colored Paul and palm colored Pamela. But they'll have you to believe that is us. You know, some people out there that actually said that it was black men that were the reason why Donald Trump got in. I'm like, white men were first. White women came a close second. Then you had the Hispanic, Latino, whatever you want to call it, the brown community, you know, the same one that people are trying to fight for right now, the Latinos for Trump, as they say. And then way down in the lower fours was black people. If you want to be specific, you can say black men, and it was a very low number. It wouldn't have put a dent into that campaign for him to get in. He already got it with the first two. But yeah, this event right here, I can see it for what it is. And whatever, I guess, let them have at it. They're going to be talking to a brick wall. And at this point, there's really nothing they can really do to try to salvage their already destroyed campaign, especially since 45 got the funding for that wall, which was what his major campaign was when he was running back in 2016. I said when he got that funding for that wall, whether it's an empty funding or not, it's documented that he said he got the funding. It's over. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next one.